Only thing.
I
Up.
heard you, bro. What up?
Emotion, bro. You heard? The people love you. Everybody appreciates everything you've been doing, not only for Latinos but for hip hop in general. You get it? We understand the fight, and we understand exactly what you mean. Because I always say the same thing, and I told you earlier, my family has both blacks and Puerto Ricans. I'll be damned if I let anybody lie to the culture and disclude history and just take Puerto Ricans out. Like, y'all was there, but y'all was sweating us. You respectfully, you guys want sick. Now I don't go like that. And watch your mouth respectfully, yeah. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
We not all
Mm-hmm.
the same. You get it? And then you use the song like from Kendrick Lamar and start titling that like you're not like us, bro. You're racist. But then you look at other people and be like, you guys are racist. Yo, stop it.
Mm.
You can't cry racism for everything, bro. You're either gonna talk or you're not. So
Right.
here's the problem that I see. When you go to talk, you're on a platform where they're not giving you an opportunity for you to really get in your word. It's like being stopped or like trying to raise their voice, but you'll always have a platform with us here. You get it?
I appreciate it.
No problem. Whenever you want to come on, we on all major audio and streaming platforms. You heard, and we for the peoples, not only Boricuas. We for all people. If one of them got something they want to say and it's valid, I might let him up. You get it for 5 seconds. Now I'll let him up. You get it. I'm saying that jokingly, but I'll let him up. But we're not gonna disrespect each other. You get it. We're gonna be cordial. It's not gonna be 15 people at the same time. I don't do that, and that's their problem. Once you go up there, you're the target. They see a white man. They don't see Cologne, I think.
Right.
Right? That's what I think. I think if you was a darker Puerto Rican, the talk would be different.
Right. Right. Right.
That's
Right.
what I think, respectfully, with no disrespect to you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I ain't got no problem. No.
Nah, that's
Mm.
that's what I think, and it gets me mad. It bothers me because I know black people that are white too. So how do we look at them?
Yeah, I'm not a white man, so yeah, I don't
Right.
really care what
And
they
then
think.
the notion to say that one of them said, this got me really mad. He said Puerto Ricans enlist themselves as white. When we're asked where we from, we're white. No, they don't.
Right. Right.
Who told you that? That just put that on paper because if Cologne comes through and I come through, they put brown, Hispanic, or his skin tone, they'll put white. That has nothing to do with him. He don't see that. You
Hmm.
get it? We got to get that fixed. That's a problem.
Right.
Not
Right.
because of them. Fuck them. Who cares what the
Mm.
FBI thinks about somebody? You get it? I'm
Mm.
talking about for the peoples as a whole. That's bad. But anyway, my brother, what's going on with this hip hop thing? How do you feel about everything that's going on? This is your opportunity for you to say whatever you want.
Yeah,
A
man.
lot.
First of all, thank you for having me, man. God bless everyone that's watching. It's a pleasure to be here, and it is what it is with the history, and a lot of times, people think they know and think they have an idea of what we're talking about, but there's a lot of people left out of the story. And
Facts.
I just try to, fill in those gaps where, you know, and that's what I kind of want to do tonight is just sort of fill in the gaps of the
Excuse me.
story. And
Yo, Rob Quiles, do me a favor, Rob Quiles. If somebody violates or says racial things in the comment section, could you block them for me? Rob Quiles. All right? God, sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. So yeah, that's what it is, man. We so if we went through like all of the elements, if we just the elements of the culture, what they want to do is they want to paint this picture that before the 70s, the 30s, the 40s, wherever they want to go, um that's the precursor. And there's something that I didn't invent this, somebody else kind of gave me this. And it's called moves and movements. And so you can't connect, moves or sounds that you heard in the 30s and the 40s to what happened in the 70s. And I'm not talking about necessarily um the James Brown or the music. Of course, when they got to the 60s and the 70s, that stuff traveled there, but that's not what I'm talking about. And so they
Right.
want to make something that was over here and try to connect it over here. And that's really, as quiet as it's kept, that's really the only footage, the only receipts that they have, because they don't have any footage in the 70s when hip hop begins. Hip hop begins, the culture begins in the 1970s. It doesn't begin in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, if they're watching, they've heard me say this 1,000 times. So I like to teach, so I just talk.
No, that's what podcasting is. That's what having. You could say the same story 1,000 times for the new people could get the message. We're gonna
Yeah.
say this 1,000,000 times so the whole world gets it till we die. This is gonna be the talk. It's kind of sort of like Cuban Links talking about the Fat Joe story, and he's 100 years old. That
Mhm.
happened to him. He wants people to understand. I can't be mad at either one of them. That's his story. That's Joe's story. I can't tell not one of them to stop talking about it. Right?
Right, 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 right. So yeah, so when we get to the 70s, um, we already have, so to say that Puerto Ricans specifically, let's rephrase that. To say that New Yorkers are not part of the culture from inception, and you got so many different people who have different views on inception. When is inception? When is the beginning? So everybody has a different point of view. um but if you're looking at graph or writing, graffiti writing, you're gonna see us there in the late 60s into
That's
the
us. I was
70s.
writing everywhere
Yeah,
in this, even in my on the cereal boxes, everywhere in the 70s, 80s, 90s, everywhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're there, and we're part of that movement. And um the DJ movement will be next, and we're there, and we're part of that movement. The DJs that play the break beats, which are really the hip hop DJs, it's not. They want to try and portray other DJs who are just playing these records. There were DJs just playing these specific records, but they weren't doing nothing with them. They were playing the records. It was at a block party or wherever it was. They're just playing the records. We're talking specifically about Kool Herc and what he does specifically, not in 1973, because he doesn't do that in 1973. He does it in 1975 at a place called the Hevelo. And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Herc. We're talking about Flash. We're talking about Bambaataa. We're talking about Breakout. Those are the four DJs. And then in between those DJs, you have sprinkles of other DJs who would go to their parties and see what they were doing. So, we're talking later on. So we're talking, 77, 78. But people like Casanova Fly, also known as Grandmaster Caz. His partner was Disco Wiz, a Puerto Rican and a Cuban. You had Charlie Chase, who starts really playing the break beats in 1976. And he's playing break beats before the Cold Crush. And so he is the co-founder
But he's
of the
not even
Cold
sure of
Crush.
his own history, isn't he? Like that's the
Who?
Charlie Chase.
No, he's
That's
sure
not.
of his history.
Oh, I thought he was. I'm sorry about that. I could have been wrong. I thought I heard him agreeing with the guy.
What guy?
What's her name? Tashi.
No, you didn't
Okay,
hear
so
Charlie Chase. No.
okay, so I'm sorry. It's a wrong. It's a different dude. Charlie Chase is the chubby guy. Respectfully,
No,
gordito.
no,
Okay,
no, no.
okay,
DJ Charlie Chase is a Puerto Rican DJ. He was the DJ for the Cold Crush Brothers.
okay. No, I got him wrong. I got him. I got the last. The rest. My bad. My bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so you got Charlie Chase, and he's the co-founder of the Cold Crush Brothers. He's DJing for uh, Grandmaster Flash is not in the picture at this point for a couple of months. They grab him up and he DJs for the Furious Four for a couple of months because he was that nice. So it's so the DJs are even in the mix there, and then we got the B boys, and they want to try to place us at a certain year, way over here, 78, 79, and 80, when the B boy crews in the Bronx around places like Crotona around 118, 129, St. Martin's. These are spots that they used to hold jams.
I was there in St. Martin's. I used to stay there. I used to sleep there with the nun. Facts.
St. Martin the Tours. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um,
Saint. Oh no,
it,
I thought you said. My bad. I thought you said Saint Mark's.
no,
That
no,
you did.
St. Martin's, St.
Oh,
Martin's of Tour, St. Martin of Tours. Yeah, this is in the Bronx.
okay.
Yeah,
That's not it. That's not the one I'm talking about. My bad.
yeah, it's okay. So in 1975, you got TBB, the Bronx Boys Rocking Crew with Batch. You got the CC Crew with Spy. You have Star Child The Rock with Track Two. You have the Rockwell Association. This is all between 75 and 79. These are B-boy crews. These are Puerto Rican B-boy crews. Mixed in with them is definitely the Zulu Kings, who originally were an all-black crew, but then started to implement Puerto Ricans within that crew. And then, from 79 now, in 79, Batch breaks up TBB, and out of TBB comes Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs is a product of the Bronx
Right.
Boys.
Right.
And so he comes out of TBB and he doesn't start Rocksteady. That's Jimmy Lee and Jimmy D who start Rocksteady. He takes a chapter over to Manhattan, and eventually he becomes the president of Rocksteady Crew. And then a new generation of now B-boys are coming from that lineage. So we have the foundational B-boy crews, which are Latino and black, but those four crews are all Latino with a couple of blacks, maybe in there. So you got that lineage, and then you have Rocksteady coming out of that lineage, and then you got a new generation coming. So, we've been in the mix 49 years. There is the only way that you got a 50th anniversary is if you begin in 73. It doesn't begin in 73. It begins more in 75. There's no that party at Cool Herc 1520. I'm gonna leave this person nameless, but I spoke to one of Herc's dancers, who was there at the party.
It wasn't a hip. It wasn't.
I'm not gonna say who it was.
No, no. I'm
No,
saying it wasn't. It wasn't a hip hop party.
no, it wasn't. There was no hip hop. I asked them. No, there was nothing hip hop. There's no b-boys. There's no extending breaks. There's nothing. They're playing music and people are dancing. Right. That's all it was. So we've been in the mix for 49 years. Right. So when we talk about longevity, and we talk about people like the ones who claim to be the first b-boys, they stopped. A lot of them stopped in 75. They actually stopped when b-boying hits the floor, when the breakers are hitting the floor. It's late 74, 75 that happens. They're not doing this before that. But then you have the rock dancers that come out of late 69, 70, 71, 72, and on, that are doing this dance that would kind of translate into up rocking. And so that is more the precursor to the b-boys than it is what the dancers were doing at Herc's parties, if I'm honest. Right, they're doing what they call burning. Burning is it's embarrassing the next person, but again,
Mm-hmm.
people were doing that before them, and the majority of people that were doing that before them were Puerto Ricans. Okay, so this is happening, and the
When we
documentary I'm
were,
working on.
while we grew up, I mean, there was like blacks in our neighborhood, like straight blacks, but the majority in Brooklyn, Sunset Park, all those neighborhoods, we was up rocking, we was popping, breaking, we was DJing. It was all Puerto Ricans. That's
Hmm.
all what I remember. So it
Hmm.
depends. When you in this borough, you in that borough. Where we was at, and I was around in the
Right.
in 70s, 80s, 90s, and I was always dancing, popping, breaking. I was always nasty. Till today,
Hmm.
I could
Hmm.
get busy.
Hmm.
Beatboxing, all that. Like I beatbox almost every day on all my shows. Like I probably got people sick with that, right? Like, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is to say that Puerto Ricans had no influence and all that is weird. And not only that, it gets me tight because the majority of people saying this, they're not even from here that started this whole thing. I feel there's a hidden agenda. You're making movies, you're making films, and people are donating hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, to this one individual. You get it?
Mm.
So that's my only problem with that. You get it?
Mm.
And every
Mm.
and everybody's believing something, but just that group of people is so hard with it. And it's like if you're not that group of people, you're just no good, and everything they say goes. And then when you start talking, like when you get a little too gangster and frustrated, like, and you start talking like, yo, y'all wasn't even like that. Like y'all don't even got no swag, and you trying to diss us. Now you make other dudes that's like that answer you. You get it? Because you just can't
Mm.
talk like that. Because I feel that y'all wasn't like that, and that y'all
Mm.
still not like that. So come on, let's keep it realistic. It depends who you
Yeah.
talking to. You get it? You just can't say yeah. And then he says, I don't say a whole group of people. Yes, you do. You say yeah, Puerto Ricans.
Mm.
So I try not to talk like that because of my peoples and all that. But if you want to get technical, you just can't talk like if y'all, in other words, like you're not built like that. You get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you're not gonna say that in my face because I'm gonna drop you. And I know it could be like it's childish or whatever, right? I get it, but you're talking childish and you're trying to sneak in there. Like, why would we copy y'all? Y'all got no swag. Like no swag. Are you serious? I
Mm.
heard him say that they was the ones dancing. Are you fucking serious? What dance?
Mm.
What dance, bro? The
Mm.
slide or whatever, like breakdancing? Are you serious, bro? That's a lie. But
Mm.
again, this is a person that is not outside, that wasn't outside in New York with us. He's
Mm.
talking from Babylon, wherever he's at. You get it?
Right. Right.
So
Right. Yeah. I try not to. I've just made up my mind as of late, man. To I'm not gonna give that any energy.
right.
I'm not going to give them oxygen. I'm just going to tell our story, man. And, it's part of history, it's part of the American story. Hip hop is part of American history, and it's not just Black American history. It's
Nah.
it's Puerto Rican American history. It's Haitian American
It's
history.
white
It's
history.
Jamaican
I think
American.
everybody
Yeah.
at one point put the course that nobody's trying to take away from them. I see that they created it, but to give Puerto Rocks no credit and just be like, sure, y'all was there, but y'all was dick riding. In other words, respectfully, like y'all copied us. Y'all were just watching us. You were students. Nah, bro, that's weird. When the whole
Mm.
world has been known the truth for years. So here comes one person and just starts spreading that. You know what? You guys been
Mm.
lied to this whole time. Santa Claus is not real. You get
Mm.
it? And Tupac is alive. You
Right.
just
Right.
can't do that, bro. It's just weird. And then you could tell as a businessman, people are not smart at all because the big consumers of all this music is Latinos, right? Puerto Ricans. Even when you go to the biggest hip hop artists in Spanish, is Bad Bunny. Even Kanye said there's nothing bigger than Bad Bunny in the world. So we have no influence when Puff Daddy, everybody's going to Anuel to do him favors. Could you do this for the label? They signing Mad Boricuas. Even for Spanish hip hop, you got English rappers like Drake, Meek, all these rappers making English and Spanish hits with the rappers that are making millions over there. We got no influence. Are you on drugs? It's because you're not in the loop. You're not outside. You're on the internet 24/11. You get
Mm.
it? If you
Mm.
come outside, you will see all that. You get it? Or if you come to New York, should I say? I don't know. It's just weird, but I understand exactly what you're saying, and a lot of people feel that way. Like you shouldn't, like that's just something you just can't let go like that. You get it?
Yeah, yeah. again, I'm not going to give them oxygen. I'm not going to give them, I'm not going to give them attention. It
That's
is what it
smart
is.
though.
Going to keep telling the story, and you know, um, you could deny it all you want, and you know, keep repeating. It's funny because it's almost like they keep repeating something and thinking, as long as I keep repeating it, maybe it'll become true.
Right. Facts.
Y'all didn't, influence nothing today. You don't influence nothing he says it 1,000 times on his show, as if saying it is going to make that the truth. And, you know, um, listen, the reality is this, bro. The reality is this. We did this together. African Americans, New Yorkers, Caribbeans, Panamanians, some Cubans, white people. We did this together,
Right.
and it is what it is. But listen, I'm not gonna lose sleep over this, bro. This ain't the end of the world. Like, we ain't gonna have nervous breakdowns over this.
Mhm.
I'm refusing, bro. I'm serious. I'm refusing to give it that kind of energy. I got other things that I need to do in my life. I'm working on a documentary. I'm a teacher. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Bro, I'm not going
Right.
to let this keep me up at night. I'm not giving it that kind of energy. You want to have a conversation? We can have a
Right.
conversation. We could talk about it. We could break down the history. Um, we could agree to disagree. But, you know, this is a hot topic. That's the bottom line. People are looking for content,
Right.
and
Exactly.
they're using this
To
topic
get views.
to
Yep.
get views. That's all it is. These are
But
people who've never touched hip hop in their life, and they
facts.
want to talk about it.
Facts. Facts. And that gets me so annoyed because at the same token, people don't understand, like I was telling you, the power of word. Even when it comes to people saying, like one of those kids said, that they don't have no influence even today, right? So even if you talk about drill music, these kids rap too. They do drill and they rap. Everybody looking to K Flock, Didi Osama. All these kids, they Latinos. They're not black in New York City rapping and trapping. Like, you're bugging out. It makes no sense. So you could tell it's a bunch of people. You're not like that. You get it? To give him his credit, Lord Jamar probably knows more about what's happening in New York than any other of them. And I can't even say the other dudes. You get it? Because I don't know them like that or even watched anything from them. I don't do that. But
Mhm.
like, to say they have no influence is crazy. They're the ones that are all over the videos, all over the internet. They're the ones that are lit. You're bugging out. You get it?
Right.
And all black kids listen to them. Like, you're bugging. So you could tell it's just the thing, like, yo, it's what we say, and that's that. And that's bad because the power of word could spread a lot of things. And then you got dudes in the comment section. You got no profile. Respectfully, you're not like that. You're a derelict, and you commenting like you a gangster, and you hyping everybody up, and they keep starting this big thing, and then the people that are really like that are left with the problem, and it could be bad. You get it?
Right.
But so I understand what you mean. Like, yo, I'm gonna fall back from it. Boo boo. I get it. But at the same token, it's just sad when you trying to divide, to use it for your content, to divide two people that have been through a lot. And in New York, we always been together. Of course, things have happened and we even went to war. I've been to gang wars with them. But those are gang wars. It has nothing to do with my peoples or who my family is. If people do their history, right? Whoever really knows me knows. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, it's just sad when you let people do that and divide situations, then they're not even from here. It's just a
Mm.
sad thing. So my thing is always like, love all people. You get it? It don't matter what color you are, who you are, but you gotta chill, and you can't be spreading hate because it's a bad thing. I just think that a lot of people in the comment section gas them up, and some of these guys just started making content the other day. They don't know nothing about the internet, and they really think they celebrities now. You get it? Like, they get a
Right.
1,000 views, 2,000 views, and they see a bigger picture. Oh my god, Let me go to this platform and pay this guy money to grow or this guy money to grow. Bro, it doesn't work like that. You got to bring something over here too. Like, you get it? But if when you're bringing hate, anytime that you're not ditching out any more hate or any more drama, nobody's gonna watch you. And how long could you ditch out drama before something happens or you get banned from all the platforms together because they do that? You get it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody in the comment, said Panamanians. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Fact.
Um, so at the inception of rap, at the inception of rap records, which is 1979, and I'm talking about rap records that would connect with hip hop. I'm not talking about a random rap record that somebody did a rap on and they weren't even rappers. I'm talking about Sugar Hill. You had two labels, Sugar Hill and the Enjoy label. And
Hmm.
so Enjoy had somebody that was their super producer at the time, and his name was Pumpkin. Now, Pumpkin is Panamanian. He's actually Costa Rican and Panamanian, so he's a Latino, and so he's responsible for the Funky Four Plus One More, a lot of the hits, Spoonie G's, Love Rap. A lot of those early rap records come from Pumpkin, who was a great musician. So that's where the Panamanian influence comes from, because Pumpkin is responsible for those records that the early MCs now would start to use those records as break beats to rhyme over. Okay, so they're not there's no sampling yet. There's none of that. They're taking these instrumentals and they're creating routines and rhyming over them. I'm talking
Right.
about people like the Treacherous Three, Flash and the
Oh
Furious
yeah, I remember. I
Five.
remember. Yeah.
All of those. So yeah, it's there's a lot to this story
Hmm.
that people just you know um they don't know, and it's okay not to know. I don't know everything, but as you study, as you look, as you research, you find out. Wait a minute. Oh, there was b-boy crews. I mean, like heavy before Rocksteady. Wait, there was DJs who were DJing that were Puerto Ricans. Wait, there were. So yes, and
I understand that because I tell people that even when it comes to Africa Bambaataa, I said somebody in the world was probably doing all this already. Because people in my neighborhood believe they started certain things because they
Mhm.
was around the 70s or 60s. I just think that those people, like any artist, was the one that was given the opportunity to blow it and put it in the people's face. You get it?
Right,
That's
right,
the way I
right.
wait, but don't act like nobody in the world was thinking like you.
Hmm.
That's just my whole thing. Some at times I think that way. Like somebody else was definitely rapping in the world. You get it?
Hmm.
He's probably over there saying, "You crazy? We was the first ones." He just was
Hmm.
never founded. You was founded first, or whatever. You get it?
Yeah, listen, man. There's people in the comments. I'm not gonna be a part of that, bro. For real, for real. Like they're
What
saying
happened?
some crazy stuff about African Americans, bro. I'm not gonna associate with that. So I mean, I'm not going
What?
nowhere. I'm gonna stay here. But I'm just letting you know. I don't want people to think I'm on that time. I'm not. We're talking about hip hop. We're not talking about again. This is what I'm on this. This is the time I'm on. I'll let them. They could talk all they want to talk. They could call us all they want to call us. I'm not going to stoop there. I'm not going there, because I don't have a low self image of myself, and I love people, bro. I'm not going to imitate what they're doing and do what they're doing because, nah,
That's what I respect about you.
I'm not doing that because I don't have to do that. None of us
That's
have
a
to do
fact.
that.
That's a
We just
fact.
we just need to state the facts. It's history, and those are straw man arguments that when you can't answer something, you resort to name calling. It's called the ad hominem argument, right? So I can't answer Cologne. I can't answer war. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna start calling them a name.
Right.
I'll bring out some truth, and then he'll stop the video and he'll say, ha 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 ha, Cologne, Cologne, Cologne. You know, he wants people to check out his channel. Ha ha, Cologne. Like, what are you talking about? Can you address what I just finished saying? Oh, Cologne wants to shut my channel down because I said Latinos didn't create hip hop. No, my brother, that's not why I'm after your channel. Why I'm after your channel is because your moderator got in there and used the S word for Puerto Rican people.
Yeah, we
And
gonna
I
play
and I
that.
called you on that, and now you flipping it and saying no, 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 that's not why he wants it. No, no, no. I don't care if you don't think we created hip hop. That's,
Facts.
you do your thing, bro.
We
I'm
know
not mad at you
facts.
for that. I'm talking about the racial slurs. Like, we got to get away from this. We're not children,
That's what
right?
gets
This
me
is
mad.
this
I ain't
is
gonna
this
lie.
is
That gets me mad. I don't like that because my family looks at
It
it
gets
and
all of us, bro. It
yeah,
gets all of us mad. It gets all of us mad. We're human beings, bro. Who likes to sit there and listen to somebody insult you? But what we got to do, we got to remember, they're behind a keyboard. They're in a comment. They probably don't have any content on their channel. They're not content creators. They
that's what
grab
we gotta
other
remember.
people's
Yep.
content to
Facts.
create new content that's not
Mm-hmm.
even their content.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, for me, I'm not going to entertain the whole race thing. I'm not going to
Facts.
stoop to name calling them. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. If it gets that way, then we in the wrong fight. We need to just let this go and talk about what's important. Like, you got somebody on here pretending to be Tariq Nasheed, Tariq Radio. I mean,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
person
He's
is, what
always
is he? A 15-year-old kid who
right.
don't got nothing better to do. We know you're
Right.
not Tariq. We know
Right.
you're not Tariq. So,
Yo,
like,
all
you know
night
what
he
you need to
hits
do,
me.
bro? You need to block this dude. Block this dude, bro. Why are
All
you
night
letting
he
him in
hits
here?
me.
Block him. He's not Tariq. Block him. I don't know why you're entertaining this dude. He's silly. It's a waste
I
of
see him
time.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
block the dude.
all night, this he comments. I'm like, yo, bro, you don't got nothing else better to do. He makes another page, another page.
Right, right,
I'm like,
right.
bro, I could tell it's fake, bro. Like you're
Yeah.
bugging.
So anyway, you give them energy. They continue to feed off the energy. But I made a decision. You know, probably last week, bro. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, man. I'm gonna produce. What I want to be known as is a content creator. I want to produce content. I don't want to take other people's videos and then splice them up and put them on my video. No, 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 no. I want to talk about what they're talking about, but I want to create my own content.
Facts.
And that's something that these guys don't do. They can't create content. So if
Facts.
you have history and you know the history, create content. Listen, if you're on the time of celebrating what Black Americans did for the culture of hip hop, and they did a lot. Nobody's denying that. They did a lot. They just didn't do it alone. That's what we're saying. No, 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 no. And you definitely didn't do it. We were right there with you, and other people were right there. But I'm saying, if you're on that time and you want to celebrate, then make content celebrating the African Americans in hip hop's culture. Do that. But you're making content about Puerto Ricans and saying we're trying to steal your culture. Well, okay, then make content about your people. What's the
Facts.
problem? Don't get mad at me because I'm making content about my people within the culture. And I'll make content about African Americans, and I'll make content about Cubans, and I'll make content. It's not a big deal for me. But people, this is a money grab. People are trying to get content because they're not content creators. So they're looking for it. What's the next?
Facts.
Oh, the hot thing is hip hop. Let's talk about it. Oh, let me put a thumbnail. FBA versus the Puerto Ricans, bro. You get your 4,000 views. People will be on that. You put Tariq Nasheed's image up, and you talk about that. Listen, if I'm
It's
if I'm
over
gonna
after that.
if I'm gonna use the image, I did one. I did one with Tariq and with Jamar, if I'm going to
Mhm.
use the image, I'm going to talk about what they're doing, and then I'm going to show, okay, what's the answer to what they're doing? What are they doing? What are they saying that's just not correct?
Right.
Um, and that's it, bro. But for people,
Yeah, but you have other content. Like some of these people are just opening up pages, and their first introduction to the world, to themselves, is this topic. Like, yo, bro, you trying to
absolutely,
build a channel off of this topic,
absolutely,
or for hatred? Number one is YouTube is not gonna push that because they're already noticing what's going on. You get it?
right,
So
right, right, right.
they're gonna start slowing all that down. It's not healthy for no one. Plus, they have music people that work at their headquarters that know that Puerto Ricans played a major role in it and all that. They not gonna let that happen. You get it? You got
Absolutely.
blacks there. You got Puerto Ricans there in high positions in the music in YouTube, and they will not let that happen. Believe me. You
Yeah.
get it? So it's like you're weird. You're gonna get a few views. After that, when you're not talking about that no more, your audience is not gonna pay attention to you because they just the audience that likes drama.
Right.
You get
Right,
it?
and that's where all of us have to be careful. If that is, so my channel is obviously dedicated to hip hop history. It's called Hip Hop History Origins and Elements. So that's the channel. I have
Right.
another channel, my main channel, which is Urban Exegesis, and that's my Christian channel. That's where I talk about, the things of God. I break,
Great.
Bible
Great.
stuff, I do my thing there. So I have
Mm-hmm.
two channels, but when I'm on the hip hop channel, I'm not here to argue with people. I'm here to hip hop's history. What are the
Right.
origins? What are the elements? Let's talk about it. Let's agree to disagree agreeably. Man, we don't have to, it don't have to get crazy. But the problem is the documentary that he put out, is very problematic in the sense that its history is kind of a mess, and I've seen it. I own it. It's just a mess. The kind of stuff that they're saying happened and how it happened, and no, it I don't care if they claim that they are pioneers. What does that really mean? So a pioneer, check it, a pioneer is somebody that does something that nobody has ever done before. That
Facts.
is a creator. Who in that documentary can really be called a pioneer? I'll give you a couple of people. Coke Rock is a pioneer. He's in there. He's a pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
Herc is not in there. Sha Rock is a pioneer because she's one of the first female MCs. Okay. Um, Lord Jamar is not a pioneer.
Definitely
Um,
not.
Peter Guns is not a pioneer.
Definitely not.
Um, you know, so this is what I'm saying. Like people use that term pioneer as if you created something. The one that they should have interviewed that created something that nobody had ever done, that introduced hip hop to the world, to the Bronx, to the boroughs, is Kool Herc. So the
Mm.
question is, why wasn't he interviewed? Why wasn't Flash interviewed? Why wasn't, Breakout interviewed? Why wasn't, I was supposed to, I don't know if you know this, I was supposed to be in the documentary. So
Nah.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. When he came to New York City to first film, he contacted me by way of Instagram. He sent me his number. I spoke to him, and he was going to fly out to Florida and film me. But you know, his goons started saying some things, on their channel that I just wasn't comfortable with. So it was a trust issue for me. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got some counsel from some other people who were like, I wouldn't do that. I would not. So I said, I'm gonna back out of this one. Then we did it again. We set up for a second time. And I talked it over. I said, you know what? Let me do this because I want people to hear the story from a Latino point of view. He's not interviewing no other New Yorkers. He's not interviewing anybody
He's
Latino.
not. He's for the black people. Period.
So I told him yes, and
He's a
then
racist.
it was, again, the same kind of thing. And I just said, I'm done. I'm not going to do it. So, he claims that he reached out to so and so and to this one and to that one. I don't know that. You know what? Your claims of whatever you say. But the point being is that um, we this really needs to be done kind of in a roundtable discussion with everybody at the table and everybody talking about what did you see, what did you know contribute, what did you bring, you know I don't get involved in the culture as a
Mm,
participant
mm,
until the days of right. I was a writer, I was a graffiti writer, I was a
mm.
b-boy, and I was an MC. All three of those elements I'm not involved until the early 80s. But in the 70s, beginning in 1975, I'm exposed to this. And I'm seeing this thing budding, this thing happening. I don't know what it is yet. There's no name for it. We didn't call it hip hop back then. So I'm a little kid. I'm watching this. And it was at that age, the tender age, and I don't have a reason to lie. And these people think, bro, listen, family, I could lie about all this. Nobody knows me. I could say I'm 76 years old and I was, no. At 8 years old in 1975, I'm watching this in the Bronx on my block. And what am I seeing? Blacks and Puerto Ricans. That's what I'm seeing. New York kids and black kids. I'm seeing it in my classroom. I have
Facts.
pictures. So I don't have a reason to lie about my age. Listen, I knew kids that were 6 and 7 years old, 8 years old, that were already in outlaw. They were already outlaws. They were in junior cliques.
Yeah,
They
look at
were in
us. We
baby
was
this
young
or
too. There
yeah,
was dirty ones in my hood, all types of
yeah.
gangs.
So, these guys that say, "Oh, you're too young to have it." No, I'm not.
Nah, dudes were
No,
outside, young, young.
but listen, when mom told me, "Yo, when you see that light come on, you better be upstairs." That's what I was. I did that, but
And
I
we went
also,
everywhere. We went everywhere with our little cardboard, our
yeah,
windbreakers on. You crazy? And we was rapping, breakdancing
yeah. But that's
everywhere,
that's
bro.
the that's the '80s though. That's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
'80s. So we're
That
talking about
that
the
is part of the
'70s.
80s.
So the
Yeah.
'70s, is the disco, the
Right,
funk.
right, right.
But make no mistake about it, within those records, within those b-boy anthems, Give It Up, Turn It Loose, James Brown, It's Just Begun, Jimmy Castor.
Has begun.
Within
Dun-dun, dun-dun,
you
dun-dun,
heard
dun.
the Latin, you heard
Of
when that
course.
break came, it was the Latin, you heard Latin percussion with the funk. Okay? And that's what it is. So don't tell me, well, what did y'all bring to the culture? We brought that sound just as much as you brought the sound.
Bro, you're gonna tell me that people been saying the same thing since I was a baby, since I was a
Mhm.
kid, that they brought the Latin percussions, that there's Latin sound. You could hear it. That's why we was top rocking. That's why we was breaking to all that, because that shit will make us like
Yeah.
just begun. That shit was like,
Right.
holy shit.
Right.
You get it? Like, yo,
Right.
this shit sound like our music. You get it?
Right.
You
And
bugging.
that's what it was when we went to a jam. Now we're hearing traces of what we were hearing at
Right.
home.
What I'm saying is, people been saying this for like 100 years. It feels like nobody never said nothing. Never, never,
Right.
never said nothing. All of a sudden, you get one dude that has a
Yeah. Yeah.
mission. Like, I can make money off of this and generate an income and get over on my own people and create a clusterfuck and a hatred through the world. And I live in the West Coast. I don't even live in the hood. I don't even
Yeah.
talk
Right.
hood anymore. And
Yeah.
just make everybody dislike each other. That's wrong, bro. When people should always be hashtag level of people, and you're gonna let one person just come and change that because
Yeah.
you was
Let's talk a little bit about what what the other channel does. He says, y'all didn't bring nothing. Your culture didn't influence no black culture at all. You
oh,
didn't
that kid
influence
is
nothing we
lost.
did. So let,
Yep.
so let me answer that. Um, One of the most powerful b-boy anthems from 1970. It's what the b-boys dance to this day.
Mm.
Is a song called "It's Just Begun," Jimmy Castor.
Yeah,
You saw that in Flashdance.
That's the one. Just begun. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, yeah.
And so you hear,
Gonna bust
you
the
know,
move.
you hear um people say, well, Jimmy Castor was Black American. Jimmy Castor didn't get nothing from Latinos. That he knew how to play those instruments. And then we find an interview with Jimmy Castor where he confesses to being he's a Caribbean. Number one, number two, he says that the song itself was he used to in the 50s. He was traveling around with Tito Puente, with oh my god, what's his name, Tito Puente, Johnny Pacheco. And Johnny Pacheco used to make his cowbells for him. So they asked him in the interview who, who came up with that drum solo, and he's like, what you mean, peace will come, the world will rest? He said, no, the drum solo in Just Begun. He said, oh, the breakdown. He said, I did. He said, yeah, we had to put the Latin in there. We had to put the timbales. So he's confessing and telling us that his influence was Tito Puente, first of all, from that song. Number one. Number two, I spoke to Jimmy Castor's dead. I spoke to his son, Jimmy Castor Jr., and asked him. And his son told me everything my father did was influenced by Caribbean and Latin flavor. He was Tito Puente was he Tito Puente was his idol, so to speak. He loved
Mm-hmm.
Tito Puente. He learned from Tito Puente. So don't tell us that we didn't influence you. Yo, because we most definitely did. But at the same time, let's be clear. At the same time, they influenced us. Listen, see,
Facts.
that's the problem. We
Facts.
influenced each other.
Facts.
That's the
Facts.
beauty of it. We
Facts.
influence each other
Still to today.
to today. So I don't know what this thing is, but when we get to that Jimmy
Before
Castor part,
before I came on this live stream and you was hitting me, all
mhm,
my black friends were hitting me. They like, yo, you popping out? I influence all of them respectfully. They do whatever I do when I go outside. Facts, respectfully, and
right?
they
And
probably watching
it's
right now.
it's not a
Everything I
bragging
say,
thing.
my swag, the way I dress, they're like, yo, whoa, where you got that from? Let me see, pop. I influence them daily. Facts.
Yeah. And so so that's an important piece. The Jimmy Castor piece is so important. So the first time, watch it now. The first time
I
the
influenced
world
them by them wanting to do podcasts. They want to do podcasts. They never did podcasts. I'm sorry, but I just thought about that.
no,
My
that's cool.
bad.
The first time the world, as a I shouldn't say the world, the nation sees outside of New York and the tri-state area, the first time they see b-boying, if they
Mhm,
didn't see Wild Style, which they probably didn't see because that was overseas and it was in select theaters, but when they saw Flashdance,
mhm,
that wasn't even a b-boy movie. It had one scene in Flashdance, and they're playing Jimmy Castor's Just Begun, and the first b-boys you see are Rocksteady. So you got a Puerto Rican, you got two Puerto Ricans and Frosty Freeze. You got Mr. Freeze, who's French. You got African American, who's Normski. The two of them were popping in the beginning. But what I'm saying is, the first movie that you see that introduces many people to this new dance that they never saw before, because you didn't see this down south. You weren't doing this down south. So you're seeing it now, and you're hearing this song.
mhm,
The song is powerful because it is influenced by Tito Puente, the Latin, what we call the Latin descarga, the go off that you heard at the Palladium Ballroom in the 1940s. These dudes were doing mambo, they were rocking out like that. Those are the go offs. Hip hop adopted that sound. Bro, this is it's crazy that they just won't take a minute to just stop and say, wait a minute, maybe he's got something there. Not just me, a lot of people.
bro. People been saying that for decades. But they're not gonna stop and look because this is the way I feel, and I'm pretty sure that I got it correct.
Yeah.
This is what I see. I see one dude that thinks he's smarter than the rest of the other. people that happen to be fully black to them, whatever they call themselves, right? Uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the three-letter guys, right? And
Mm-hmm.
on top of that, he sees a lucrative opportunity for himself. So if I get
Right.
everybody to believe me, he's kind
Mm-hmm.
of becoming the leader. He's the leader of that whole thing. He funded that. He
Mm-hmm.
raised over 300, about 300 and something $1,000, $1 million and something else. All these movies he's making is funded by black people, right? That
Mm-hmm.
believe and have the same ideas that he believes, that the world should be run strictly by them and they should govern it and it's their world and they own everything, and the white man is out to get them and is about them. Africans to them are not even considered black. Like, this is bad. This is like really, really bad, not only for the internet but for the world as humanity, as human beings. Like, this is like bad, bro. Like,
Let
this
me
is
say something to. I do want to, and I usually I'm trying not to do it, but I want to do this. There's somebody named Trip. Trip, make it knock in your comments. I want to respond to him. He said that don't mean y'all helped create something that was already created, genius. So it seems like he's responding to my flash dance thing. Okay, so listen. The reality is, Trip, is that Black Americans did not create footwork in breaking. They didn't create backspins in breaking. They didn't create windmills in breaking. They
facts.
didn't create head spins in breaking. Those moves, those found you listening, Trip, you listening closely. Those moves come from the foundational B-boy crews who were Puerto Ricans. Okay, Crazy Legs creates an iteration of the backspin. The other person who created the other version of it was JoJo, a Puerto Rican. Okay, so don't come here talking about it was already created. You were copying black b-boys in the 80s were copying what Puerto Rican b-boys were doing because we created those moves. You can deny it all you want, bro, but you don't know the history. And that's all I'm going to say to you.
Facts. But you know what he tried to say, the guy that I feel that's taking and destroying Martin Luther King's dreams and all that. Uh
Mhm.
uh what I feel is that he's just out for him, right? And when he tries to say, "Yeah, but we was already doing these parts of break and all that," bro, you can't go back. What I've heard, you can't go back all the way to the 50s and 60s and be like, "Bro, we was doing that when we was in the respectfully in the plantation. We was breakdancing." You can't do that. You get it? He said ever since the slavery days, bro, because you
But
did a
look but
split.
but
You
but
can't
look what
compare that to breaking
but look what they're
or
doing it
popping or
for.
nothing.
When you look at the footage of these films, when you look at it, who are they doing it for? They're doing it for audiences. They're doing it on stages. They're doing it on movie sets. You don't have any footage of them doing any of this in the streets. They're not doing this in the streets. They're doing this to perform for white people.
Right.
Okay, this is what they're doing. So there's no footage of them doing this in the streets. Number one, you can't be breaking unless there are break beats. Where's the DJ with the break beats? If you're gonna connect it to hip hop, connect it all the way. There's
Yeah,
no
where's the
DJs.
sound?
There's no DJs with break beats. They're dancing. No disrespect. And I thought the dances that they were doing were beautiful dances. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not knocking it. What I'm saying is when you listen to the music that they're dancing to, it's really banjos, it's harmonicas, it's that kind of stuff. It's not break beats on records, obviously, because that hadn't happened yet. I'm not knocking it. The Nicholas brothers are some bad dancers. You know,
Right.
Sammy Davis Jr. was a bad dancer. All of these dudes, the Berry brothers, bad dancers. You know, Fred Astaire as well. But you got to listen to what they're dancing to. Okay, there's no footage unless somebody could show me footage. Somebody filming them on the block, in the street, at a jam, at a block party doing this. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen block parties where they just, they're doing kind of James Brown moves. Yeah. This is not what we're talking about. This is something totally different. It's something to so when you find footage of us, I'm talking about New Yorkers, black and Puerto Rican.
Mm,
You see us in the streets. This is because the culture comes from the streets. B-boying is a street dance.
facts.
It's not on stage. It later on it gets to the stage, but it didn't start out in the stage. It started out on the block. It started out in the parks. It started out wherever they could do it, in hallways. So,
Facts.
I think that they're trying so hard to make a connection that there is no connection.
All right, here's what I see also. Immediately, they said, boom, you see this picture right here? This year, breaking, and the Puerto Ricans are going to the Olympics. For what was that, bro?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
everything went haywire. What? His main focus, why he specified, and then he got off of it because I kept saying it. He said they about to get this trillions of dollars. The Olympics is coming into this hip hop thing. The Puerto Ricans are about to take all the money, and immediately he started putting in people's head. We got to get them out. They're gonna
Right.
want reparations. Bro, don't nobody want no fucking reparations, my guy. Are you serious? Right? So anyway, we got a lot of cows where we live at. Facts. I
Mm-hmm.
got one in my backyard. Nah, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
kidding. But anyway, listen, never making fun of nobody, but they make light of the situation too. They go hard. So
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. They can take it how they want. I'm not the regular dude. They could just do that too. But anyway, what I'm saying is not that they no disrespect to anybody. But anyway, what I'm saying is this. Pop, man, I'll kill that cow, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Listen,
Here it goes again, right? So I literally just, I mean, the chat could tell me. I literally just named what we created.
facts.
And this dude Trip comes back and says, "It's crazy. Y'all trying to colonize hip hop, but can I think he meant to say cannot name nothing y'all created." See, this is a person who it doesn't matter what you present. This is what I
Right.
mean.
He's
Right? I just
that's that
literally
FBA
named.
shit.
I named what we created. And
Man,
and that's your answer. You didn't name anything. Okay. What did you create? Can you tell me what B-boys of African American descent? I could tell you, but let me see if you could tell me. What did y'all create?
these not.
I'll
No,
wait.
I'm just kidding.
I'll wait.
These.
Right? So anyway, man. Yeah, so the documentary is coming out September 21st. I'm gonna do a little
Your
plug.
documentary, right? Your documentary.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right.
September 21st,
He's
the Latin
getting it. He's
breakdown.
getting it. He's getting it. At least I could tell you're an honest man. You're never
Mm-hmm.
gonna be pointed as, yo, he's robbing us. He's already all over on
No,
Google at
it's free. Yeah, I'm not charging for it.
no, no, no.
Yeah,
But
it's
I'm
free.
telling you, he's already listed like hundreds of platforms talking about this is scam. You heard?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I see, bro, millions of people all over Reddit. This is for years. I'm not
I'm
trying
not
to.
mad at him,
I'm
bro.
not blaming
Listen,
him for nothing.
listen.
I'm not knocking his
Yeah,
hustle. I'm
I'm
not
not mad
knocking
at
his
him. Yeah.
hustle. I'm just letting my black brothers and sisters know, yo, I do. You being robbed, and you being robbed from the love of beautiful Puerto Rican people. We love y'all. We all have our differences and all that. You get
Mm-hmm.
it here and there, but when it comes down to it, this channel, all my platforms is always hashtag love of people. That's bad. I'm never gonna stop saying that what he's doing is bad, bro. They don't even live in New York City. He's like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
devil.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like respectfully, it's not the white man. The devil don't always have to be white, bro. You
Right.
get it? So
Yeah, man. Listen, I gotta run, brother. I gotta get ready for work tomorrow. But listen,
yo, I'm
thank you
sorry.
for having
I
me.
was getting on him a little bit while you here. I just hate what he's doing. I feel like he comes with a lot of hatred, bro.
Nah, it's all good, brother. It's
Yeah.
all good, man. Thank you, bro, for letting me come on your platform and share. And you know,
I
I'll come
hope it
back.
was able to help you. You can always come back. This is your home. We love you, and
Absolutely.
we grateful for what you do, standing up for everybody as a whole and tell the story and how it really is. Because we know I was breakdancing. Whoever knows me will tell you that nigga War was a breakdancer and a half. I pop. I was the light of the. I'm the light everywhere I go. I
Mhm.
pop. I fucking write graffiti. I beatbox. All that. You get it? So
Hmm.
you can't tell me I'm not hip hop, bro. You get it? Like you're bugging out. Did I copy from who? Yeah, right, bro. You crazy?
Yeah, man. I gotta run, brother.
God
We'll
bless you.
talk soon, brother. Blessings on you, man.
That's right.
Chat. Thank you guys for listening.
You told them your channel and everything, right?
Yeah, the channel
Tell them again.
is called Hip Hop History, Origins, and Elements. And the other channel is called Urban Exegesis. You can get both of those links in the channel, but Hip Hop History, Origins, and Elements. Um, yeah, man. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Check it out. Check out the
And
content.
show love. Tomorrow morning, like about 9 or 10 in the morning, we're gonna put Dr. Cologne's episode or part of the episode on all major audio and streaming platforms. So go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Audible, Stitcher, Castbox FM, Player FM, RedCircle.com, and hundreds of more. It's gonna be there in the morning. So even if you heard it already, go listen to it again, show it some love. I'm gonna mix it up with some as a matter of fact, I'm not gonna mix it up with nothing because I don't want to say nothing that he is against, and he's the one that's talking. And you know, I'm gonna get crazy sometimes. Ping. So I'm gonna just put it and leave it like that, and go show it some love so that it could rotate in rotation, and it could get to the people and the masses. Even though we're gonna make